Hello, I'm Matthew, and today I'll teach you how to solve quadratic equations by factoring. Let's first start with a simple equation and slowly build our understanding. Solve 3x is equal to 0. In order to solve this question, you need to understand that the only time when a multiplication is equal to 0 is when something is multiplied by 0. Now we're multiplying 3 by x. What is the value of x that makes this equation equal to 0? Well, we have 3 times x is equal to 0. But since 3 is not equal to 0, it means that our x has to be equal to 0, right? When two numbers are being multiplied, at least one of them needs to be 0 in order for their product to be 0. Solve 3 times x minus 3 is equal to 0. This time, 3 is being multiplied by x minus 3, and that has to be equal to 0. Again, since 3 is not equal to 0, that means our x minus 3 has to be equal to 0 in order for 3 times x minus 3 to be equal to 0. When is x minus 3 equal to 0? X has to be 3 in order for x minus 3 to be equal to 0. So the answer to our question is x is equal to 3. This time we have two expressions that are being multiplied. X minus 4 times x plus 5, and that is equal to 0. In order for the product of something to be equal to 0, it must be that either x minus 4 is equal to 0 or x plus 5 must be equal to 0. First, x minus 4 is equal to 0. We can add 4 to both sides of the equation. Minus 4 and plus 4 is equal to 0. So we have x is equal to 4. We still have another case when x plus 5 is equal to 0. To solve this equation, we can minus 5 both sides of the equation, and plus 5 minus 5 is equal to 0. So we have x is equal to minus 5. So the answer to this question is x is equal to negative 5 or 4. And that's our answer. This time we have x squared minus 19x minus 42 is equal to 0. Well, I cannot find the value of x that makes this equation true right now. I need to rewrite the same expression in the form of what we have been solving, multiplication of two expressions. And to do that, we're going to factor this equation by using the regular method. If you're not sure how to factor, please check out the link in the description. I have explained how factoring works with step-by-step instructions in that video. So let's factor x squared minus 19x minus 42 is equal to 0. So we're going to find two numbers whose product is equal to negative 42 and the sum has to be negative 19. This is the number for our product and that is the number for our sum. What are the two numbers whose product is negative 42? Well, first numbers that I can think of are 1 and negative 42, but their sum is negative 41. So let's try a different number. I can try 2 and negative 21 because their product is negative 42. And when you add them, their sum is equal to negative 19. Exactly what we're looking for. So that means our equation can be rewritten as x plus 2 times x minus 21 is equal to 0. In case it helps, plus 2 came from this 2 and negative 21 came from negative 21. Okay, we still have to solve this equation. We need either x plus 2 to be equal to 0 or x minus 21 to be equal to 0 in order for this equation to be equal to 0. For x plus 2 is equal to 0, we can minus 2 on both sides of the equation. Plus 2 and minus 2 become 0. So we have x is equal to negative 2. And for x minus 21 is equal to 0, we can plus 21 to both sides of the equation. Minus 21 plus 21 are equal to 0. So we have x is equal to 21. As our final answer, x is equal to negative 2 or positive 21. And that's our final answer. Let's solve our last question. This is one of the special cases of quadratic equations called the perfect squares. How did I know? Well, I first realized that 64 is 8 squared. And if I multiply 8 by 2, then I get 16. And this tells me that this is the special case of the perfect square. If you didn't understand what I just said, I'll put the link for another video in the description, so please check that out. Anyways, let's continue. Because 64 is the square of 8 and 16 is 2 times 8, the equation can be factored into x plus 8 squared is equal to 0. Well, in this case, we have square of something to be equal to 0. That means that something has to be 0. Meaning x plus 8 has to be equal to 0. To solve this, we can minus 8 from both sides. Plus 8 minus 8 becomes 0. So we have x is equal to negative 8. And that's our final answer. Usually, quadratic equations have 2 answers. But in our special case of perfect squares, we only have 1 answer. And this is how you solve it. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please hit the like button and subscribe. Also, please feel free to leave a comment below about the topic of the next video that you would like to see. I'm Matthew, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!